Have you just been wearing one pair of running shoes in your training? Today I'm going to break down the importance of having a running shoe rotation. Having a running shoe rotation not only maximizes performance, but it also minimizes injury. Today we're going to rate the 4 shoes in my running shoe rotation on 3 key factors: durability, comfort, and performance. Let's get into it. The first shoe in my rotation is my daily trainer. This is the Hoka Skyward X, and as you guys can see, we've gotten a lot of miles in these shoes. This has been my go-to throughout the week. Something I really enjoy about this shoe is how much cushion there is. This is a max cushion daily trainer, and it also has a carbon plate in the midsole here, which, if you don't know much about shoes, if you have a carbon plate, it kind of gives you that little bit of extra energy return, a little extra propulsion. But in a daily trainer, it's a great way to save your legs and your feet, especially if you're logging a lot of miles. And as I was training for my previous race, this has been my go-to throughout the week. And one of the best things I liked about this shoe is how much cushion there is. When I was running, I really felt like I was on clouds. Like my legs very rarely hurt after I was running in these shoes, and I was able to log a lot of miles at a slow pace. Now, granted, some things I did not love about this shoe is it's a little bit heavier for a daily trainer. It comes in weighing roughly 10.5 ounces for a size 11.5, which is a little bit heavier, but it gives you a lot more support. So you kind of offset speed and performance for a little bit of comfort. My rating for my daily trainers, the Hoka Skyward X, I would give it comfort 8 out of 10, durability 8 out of 10, and performance 6 out of 10. Great shoe, but you're probably not gonna run the fastest in these ones. This next shoe is my speed training shoe, the Adidas Boston 12s. I have been a big fan of this shoe. I actually used this shoe last year when I ran across Korea as well. But whenever I'm doing any form of speed training, specifically for marathons, if I'm on a track or if I'm doing a fartlek workout or anything along those lines, this is one of my go-to shoes. I love how responsive it is. The midsole itself, it's not super max cushion in terms of the stack height, and you don't have a carbon plate either. But the level of propulsion and kind of pop that you get from wearing these, I have been a big fan. This shoe has the Light Strike Pro in the midsole, which kind of gives you that little extra level of support, but then also that's what's giving you that energy return as you guys are running on the track. So much around shoes is energy return and efficiency. You want to have a shoe, especially if you're trying to run fast, that's going to give you the most responsiveness. And I think a shoe like the Boston 12s has been a staple in my routine. I think this is one of those that I might not run every single day in, but those once or twice a week speed workouts, this will always be one that's in my rotation. The good thing about these shoes is that you don't have to just wear these on a track. You can wear them on a road or a dirt path. Honestly, you could pretty much take these shoes anywhere. And in Austin, I pretty much have taken these anywhere, whether it was on Lady Bird or on a track. I've even ran a marathon in these shoes. So it's gonna give you a kind of multi-use purpose. But I would say for me, it's been a great speed day shoe. But if you are out there, this is a really good option to have into your rotation. In terms of the score for my speed workout shoe, the Adidas Boston 12s, I would say comfort, 7.5 out of 10. Durability, 8 out of 10, and then performance, 8 out of 10. This one, if you want to run kind of fast, it's not the fastest shoe that we're going to talk about today, but you could run pretty fast in these. You're probably wondering how to find the best pair of running shoes for yourself. And this is probably the #1 question I get asked the most, in person or online. And over the past couple years, I've tested so many different brands. Literally any brand you could think of, all the shoes. I haven't tested all of them, but I've tested most of them. And I found that there's a couple key components on finding what works best for yourself, because everyone is different. You guys can listen to me and watch my videos, but what works for my feet might not work for your feet. So I developed a downloadable ebook that all of you guys can get. It's completely free. It's just all the things I've learned and what to focus on when you are purchasing the best shoe option for your feet. There's literally no catch. It's completely free. It's down in the description below. If you guys are starting your running journey, I highly recommend check that out so you can start your running journey the proper way. The next shoe in my rotation is a trail running shoe, the Nike Ultrafly with a carbon fiber plate. This has been a really fun shoe to run with. Recently, getting ready for Leadville 100, this was my go-to, and the fact that I got to wear these in the actual race was amazing. First off, one of my favorite things about this shoe, Nike's done a great job of having a wider toe box because most of Nike's running shoes, almost all of them, have very narrow toe boxes, which mean that you either need to get a wider version and or get a half a size bigger, if not a full size bigger. So I was a big fan of these just off that sheer aspect because I'm a fan of wearing pretty much like any wide toe box shoe. The next thing I really enjoy is the fact that it has a carbon plate. A lot of trail running shoes don't have carbon fiber plates in them. And a lot of it has to do with if you're running a really far distance or you're running on technical terrain, a lot of times runners like to have a little bit more cushion and they don't want to feel like they can't bend the midsole, which typically in a carbon plate, you're not able to really like move this thing. But when you're running a really far distance, especially on a race like Leadville where you have to be able to run a lot of the segments of the race, it's nice having that little extra support of a carbon plate. So the fly plate that they have in this midsole makes it really conducive for a runner in an ultra marathon to be able to log some miles running, which is a major win. I gotta just mention something about the design and the colorway of this shoe because like I'm just like personally a fan of this color. It's a little bit more pinkish when I first got it, but I'm just a fan of any running shoe that's kind of like loud. And this one, I don't think anyone else had this colorway, which is a major win. When it comes to a durability around a shoe like this, like I think most shoes you're gonna get anywhere from 200 to 400 miles. Trail shoes specifically, it's easier to wear these down. Specifically like right in like the toe box, these like stitched areas where if you're on a rock and it's like you twist your ankle completely or you're just really going through technical terrain, a shoe like this might break down quicker. But overall, going through 100 miles, this shoe did pretty damn well. This shoe's not just designed for ultra runners either. If you're just looking to hike or casually go up trails, like this could be a shoe that you still use in your day-to-day rotation. Even with the carbon fiber plate, it's still a shoe that you can still utilize in your rotation if you are interested in any form of trail running or hiking. And I think what's really important is that what you don't want to do and what you want to avoid is bringing road running shoes on a technical terrain trail or even a dirt patch trail, just because over time you're really gonna wear down that road running shoe. So something like a trail runner is gonna have a little bit more durability and it's gonna last a little bit longer just because these shoes aren't designed just to be slapped on a pavement, right? Like it's able to withstand rocks and different terrain. So if you are someone out there that's getting into trail running or have any interest in hiking in general, I would recommend not using road shoes and finding a trail shoe just like this. In terms of rating this trail running shoe, the Nike Ultraflies, I would say comfort, I would give this an 8 out of 10. Durability, 8 out of 10. And I would say for performance, like these things crush Leadville. Like I'd give this an 8.5 out of 10. That's the Ultrafly. Check them out. The last shoe in my running shoe rotation is a race shoe. And these are one of my favorite shoes I've probably ran in all year. The Nike Alphafly 3s. This has to be one of the fastest shoes in the world. And I must say, I ran a half marathon in these shoes and I hit a personal best time of a 1:24, which to some of you might be impressive and to others it might be a jog. But regardless, this was a really fun shoe to run in. And I think just to start out with the Alphafly, like if we're talking about peak performance and the design of this shoe, it's one of the lightest shoes that you can probably find on the market. It weighs roughly a little less than 8 ounces for a size 11.5. And when you wear this shoe, like it truly feels like you're like just like literally wearing a sock and that you have an extra couple inches of height. And it's important to have a lightweight shoe and something that is very breathable in the upper, because ideally if you're trying to run as fast as you can, you want to have the least amount of weight on your feet. And if a shoe is super lightweight but also has a carbon plate and max cushion to give you maximum support and maximum propulsion, then a shoe like this will not only just benefit you from the performance side, it keeps your feet light and your feet breathable so you can perform at your best. If you can think about your shoes almost as weights on your feet, something that's a little bit lighter or something that's heavier, over time after all the steps you're taking in a marathon, those weights add up. And if you have something lighter, you're at a severe advantage than someone who's wearing even something 2 to 3 ounces heavier over the course of a full marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So That is the reason that something like this, like the Alphafly, is gonna give you a significant performance increase. Now, granted, is this the most comfortable shoe when it comes to like daily training and or wearing this casually? Absolutely not. I do not recommend anyone wearing this shoe when they go to Target, or if they're casually shopping, or if you're going to the gym. Do not put these shoes on. But if you're looking to set a personal best time and you're trying to set the fastest half marathon or full marathon that you've ever ran, I highly recommend running in the Alphaflys. This has been one of my favorite shoes all of 2024. My rating for my race day shoe, the Alphafly 3s. I'll give this shoe a comfort level, a 7. Durability level, also like a 6.5, 7, just because you're not gonna be able to wear this shoe that many times. You probably have a couple marathon wears in them and also some speed workouts, but you're not gonna be able to wear these to the ground for like 500 miles. So not so great on durability. But in terms of performance, like I honestly have to say, like, I'll give these shoes probably a 9 out of 10. Like I felt a significant improvement wearing these shoes for the Brooklyn Half Marathon, and my next marathon that I want to run really fast in, it'll be in these shoes.